Today we're going to talk about more irregular verbs. Our goal is that you'll be able to identify and write past tense forms of irregular verbs, both with and without helping verbs. Remember, in our last lesson we talked about regular verbs that form their past tense by adding ed. So for example, complete would become completed. Place would become placed. Bless becomes blessed. And walk becomes walked. But not all verbs follow that pattern, and those we call irregular verbs. Some examples of irregular verbs include ring. In its past tense it becomes rang or has rung. Tear becomes tore or has torn. Speak becomes spoke or has spoken. Grow becomes grew or has grown. Let's look at this sentence and see if we can find the three past tense verbs in this sentence. Jonathan found a piece of driftwood, yelled, "Moose, fetch," and threw it in the lake. Jonathan found a piece of driftwood, yelled, "Moose, fetch," and threw it in the lake. One of these is a regular verb. Can you tell which one? You said yelled. You are correct, because yelled follows our regular pattern of adding ed for the past tense. The other two verbs, found and threw, are both irregular. I find, I found. You wouldn't say finded. Jonathan finded a piece of driftwood would not work. Jonathan found a piece of driftwood. Same thing with threw. Threw is the past tense of throw. You wouldn't say I throwed it in the lake. You would say I threw it in the lake. Even though irregular verbs don't follow a set pattern, sometimes you can find similarities with groups of them, and that can help you remember. So ring becomes rang in the past tense. Sing becomes sang. Swim becomes swam. And begin becomes began. For this group, each time they're put in the past tense, the I changes to an A. Rang, sang, swam, began. However, when you put them with a helping verb like has, have, or had, that A becomes a U. Rang becomes has rung. Sang becomes has sung. Swam becomes has swum. And began becomes has begun. In this group of words, they use the or sound in the past tense. So tear becomes tore. Wear becomes wore. But when you add a helping verb, you keep the or sound, but you add an N. So tore becomes has torn. Wore becomes has worn. In this group, when you have verbs like break, you add an N sound, E-N, onto the end when you use it with the helping verb. So you have break, broke, has broken. Speak, spoke, has spoken. Steal, stole, has stolen. Choose, chose, has chosen. Freeze, froze, has frozen. In this next group, we have blow, blew, has blown. In the past tense, the OW becomes an EW, and in the past tense with the helping verb, the EW becomes OWN, of that own sound. So blow, blew, has blown. Grow, grew, has grown. Know, knew, has known. Fly, flew, has flown. Now see if you can try some on your own.